What's up, guys? It's KB. Make sure you subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Click the bell icon down below so you don't miss a single video from us. And thanks for tuning in to another video from Underground Sports Philadelphia. Now let's get into it.
Philadelphia, baby, you're gonna love it. Best sports fans in the world. Actually, the worst, but that's what makes them the best.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome in to episode number 507 of Underground Sports Philadelphia. I had to wait a little bit to not speak purely out of raw emotion, so we're recording this on Monday afternoon after the Super Bowl. It's KB, it's Pitts, People's Champ.
One of us are champs here, Kyle. Is that too soon?
That was this game.
That was too soon. I'm sorry. That was too soon.
We're going to talk about the Super Bowl. We're going to talk about just the landscape of everything, where we go from here. I think we're the first city to lose 3 championships in a 4-month span, so that's fucking incredible. And talk about the morons online still running amok. And we might have a potential banning on the pod as well.
We might.
I know we've been talking about it too. Just want to get it out there for the people. The Underground Sports Philadelphia Hall of Fame, we've just kind of been waiting for the Super Bowl stuff to be over to go full-blown into it. So I know it's a little later than usual. We usually announce the inductees on our anniversary date, but that'll be coming. And then some other housekeeping stuff. This Wednesday, we will not be live on Wednesday night because I will be at the Sixers game when they play the Cavs on Wednesday night. So we'll be live doing stuff from the Sixers game, but no live show on Wednesday night. Might be live Wednesday during the day, not sure yet. But we are recording on Wednesday, so you'll still get the podcast in your podcast feed and on YouTube like regular. Just no live Twitch at 7 o'clock Eastern. Same thing for next Wednesday, the 22nd. If you're a longtime listener to the pod, you know I work at Buena Regional High School for their theater department. We have our first actual production run through for our musical, The Little Mermaid, on the 22nd, Wednesday night. So same kind of instance. We'll be recording Wednesday afternoon. Could be live, not 100% sure yet. We'll let you guys know. We'll probably put a poll out, too, to see if you'll be around, just because it is midweek and it's during the day. So, but you'll still get it in your podcast feed and on YouTube like regular. So nothing will change from that aspect. It's just breaking the fourth wall there for you guys. Before we get started, make sure you guys are following us on the socials at Underground PHI. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.com/UndergroundSportsPHI. Follow Pitsy on Twitter at Pat_Pitts and at Pitsy35 on Instagram. He's about to be hella active on that Instagram. Hella. It's coming. And you can follow me on Twitter at KBIZZL311 and on Instagram at KBIZZLE11. Subscribe to the podcast feed, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. I do want to give a big shout out to, while we're doing all the rundowns here, to 3 of our podcasts on the network. Underground is on a weird type of scale because we're on a different host platform than all the other podcasts. So we're perpetually on a whole bunch of charts, which is pretty cool. So we're always on there. But I do want to give a shout out to Get in the Hole, Streamer Season, and Top Bins, all 3 of them going into the weekend on the top 200 chart for their respective genre chart of podcasts. Top Bins was at number 190 on the soccer charts in the U.S. Streamer Season was 163 on the TV reviews in the U.S. Get in the Hole, still on the charts at number 128, peaked at 88 so far on this current run that they're on in the U.S. golf chart. For all 3 of them to be on U.S. charts for their respective genre is so fucking cool. Proud of every single person who works on those projects. Steve, Jake, Dylan, Christian, and of course Dom and Matt for Top Bins, and myself on Streamer Season. But the rest of those guys put in so much work, and they want these brands to be successful, and they're doing the damn thing. So to see all three of them at once, kind of be on their respective charts is really, really cool. So go give them a follow as well. You guys know where to follow them. And of course, you can watch all their shows on YouTube on our YouTube channel. But subscribe to the pod feed for Underground and all of our shows on Apple, Spotify. Leave a 5-star rating and review. It'll really cheer me up in this time of need.
We need to cheer up Kyle. That's our goal for today.
So leave a 5-star review on Apple, and of course subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel if you really want to cheer me up. Subscribe to the YouTube. We are currently at 386 subscribers, which was bonkos yesterday. We just kept getting a lot of subscribers. I'm sure we'll get into that later. But go subscribe, youtube.com/@Underground Sports Philadelphia. We're 14 subscribers away from 400. Need to get to 1,000, but 400, that's like another milestone for us. Like those 100 increments are huge. And I can't wait for our subscriber count to have a 4 at the beginning instead of a 3. So let's try and get there by the end of the month. That'd be massive. 14 more subscribers is all we need to get to 400. So be a friend, tell a friend, smash that like button, ring the bell icon, comment down below your thoughts on everything that transpired on Sunday, and your thoughts on the Birds moving forward. We want to hear from you guys, of course. And big thank you to our sponsors who make this show happen. Main Auto LLC, Gene, the owner of Main Auto, he was at the big game yesterday, so that was pretty cool to see. Security 21 Security Systems, Paul J. Gillespie Incorporated, the Dental Wellness Center of Vineland, which as I'm recording this, I'll be going there later today because I am personally one of the sickos that loves going to the dentist. It's therapy. I love the way my mouth feels after because I feel clean. Not that I don't feel clean all the time, but it's like one of those things where it's like when you clean your car on your own or you take it to the car wash. The car wash is always going to have the laser beams that they blast onto your car and clean you up real well. I love the way that my mouth just feels pristine after the dentist. So I'll be paying a visit to the GOAT, Dr. Thomas, at the Dental Wellness Center of Vineland today.
Let's leave my comments about the dentist for another time.
Well, you just don't have a great dentist.
I don't have Dr. Thomas.
You don't have Dr. Thomas. He's the GOAT.
That's why I think I'm upset. So,
and personally, going to the dentist no matter where is less painful than what I endured on Sunday night. So
yeah, it was pretty tough. I'm not gonna lie, that was pretty tough watching.
You guys can also go get your merch if you really, really, really want to make me happy. Go get your merch. PHI Apparel Company. It's the exclusive and official merch partner for Underground Sports Philadelphia and all of our shows. We got some new merch coming very, very soon. We should have some new golf stuff up in the near future. I'm going to check in on that today as well. But you can see I'm wearing our awesome big game shirt that did really well. So a lot of people, tagging us and grabbing it. We got ours just in time for, the big game and everything. And no matter what, this is such a cool shirt. I will cherish helping create this design with our merch partner Tyler over at PHI Apparel Company forever. It's one of the sickest designs.
Oh yeah,
come on,
it's so cool. It's a new age type of retro video game feel to it, and I don't know. It looks like it's something I would like to wear and not just the logos or whatever copyright.
Yeah, it's so cool. Love it. Has that Southwest vibe from Arizona and everything. So if you're a Chiefs fan or an Eagles fan, you want to rep this, or you can go get your podcast merch. Big movie coming out this Friday for Ant-Man. Get your Streamer Season merch. That's my big goal with Streamer Season. I know this is not Streamer Season, but I want to see people wearing the Streamer Season hoodie and shirt to the movie theater. That'd be pretty cool. But also go get your Underground Sports Philadelphia merch. Outside the Box, Get in the Hole, Top Bins, all of it is on our merch store, phiapparel.co, and use code Underground. That way they know that we sent you, and you get 10% off for doing it. So go get your merch. It really is the most effective and direct way to support everything we're doing here. And PHI Apparel Company is going to be part of our live tailgate podcast series all baseball season long. So very excited for that, and shout out to them for wanting to get on board there. So go get your merch, phiapparel.co, use code underground, 10% off your order. Here we are again, darkness, my old friend. You know what, Aaron Rodgers trip into a darkness room does not sound like a bad idea.
Yeah, I was supposed to say that to you after you said that. Like, are we feeling that we need to go on our
we might go on a darkness retreat.
We might have to just like shut all the lights in the basement.
That might be a shirt. Philadelphia Darkness Retreat 2023.
I mean,
it's like your camp shirt every summer.
Will you sign my camp shirt? Let's not forget the memes.
Hags.
Hags.
So the Eagles end up losing Super Bowl 57, 38-35. 1 point off each from the leaked game script, by the way.
I know. I did see that.
Tough loss. There's a lot of things to pinpoint, from this one. Obviously, everybody's talking about the refs. Carl Sheffer should never be allowed to referee another Super Bowl ever again as long as he lives, but that's just me. Because not only that final play being ticky-tack and, was it a hold? Sure, but you didn't call it all game, so why are you calling it in the most critical moment of the game? The Devontae Smith overturn of him catching the ball like fucking David Tyree style on the side of his helmet, ridiculous. That was an unbelievable catch. There was zero conclusive evidence that was not a catch. So
and
that
Dallas
was
Goedert
one.
Did the same exact catch.
Right.
It was a quarter later.
Crazy.
I don't know.
There was that. Quez Watkins should have caught that ball. That was a deep ball to him. He catches that. The Eagles probably get 7 instead of the field goal. And they go up 31-21 at that point instead of 27-21. Obviously, Jalen's fumble was brutal, but I can't even blame that because the very next drive, the Eagles offense goes out and has a meticulous, calculated drive, and they go and score a touchdown capped off by Jalen Hurts scoring. So Jalen got redemption there. I want to start with this, though, because it has seemed to be the narrative this entire season, this entire postseason. If there's anybody out there that still thinks Jalen Hurts is not that dude and not the MVP caliber quarterback he proved to be all year, that he is not a franchise quarterback, he's not one of the elite quarterbacks in the NFL, kindly, and I mean this kindly, from the bottom of my heart, fuck all the way off. Jalen Hurts, when the lights turned on, showed the world that he is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. He went out on the biggest stage, broke multiple Super Bowl records for a quarterback, had 4 total touchdowns, over 300 yards passing for a guy that can't pass.
Can't throw, Kyle. He
can't throw.
He can't do it.
Jalen Hurts, the city of Philadelphia, to have Jalen Hurts as our quarterback. From where it all started to now, we are so lucky that he's our guy. And the fact that we are going to have him for what we hope is the next decade plus as our franchise quarterback is so amazing to just come to that realization that even though we have known all season long since game 1 against the Detroit Lions to now, and even in the preseason, you could see the leadership qualities and everything from Jalen Hurts, this is his team. The fact that we know we finally have a franchise quarterback for the first time since Donovan McNabb is just an incredible feeling. Jalen Hurts is 24 years old and is going to be quarterbacking this team hopefully for the rest of his career. He is meant to play in this city, and I couldn't be more proud of the way he played with the entire world watching, and he goes out and puts on a performance like that, puts the team on his back, what more could you ask for from a quarterback who is in his second full year as a starting quarterback to go out and put on a performance like that for a guy who has been doubted his entire career?
Mm-hmm.
From Alabama to Oklahoma to the NFL draft to being behind Carson Wentz to last season to now where everybody's questioning because of the teams that he played. You play who's on your schedule. And look what he did all year long. Oh, yeah, he was the runner-up for the MVP. And if he doesn't get hurt, probably wins the MVP.
He does. He definitely wins MVP if he doesn't get hurt. And I'm sick of seeing the photos or memes online with Jalen Hurts and Mickey Mouse ears and the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse theme song playing, which I'm not going to say they're not funny. They are funny. However, I get it. I'm with you. I mean, like, you play who's in front of you, and he dominated. He dominated the entire year. Look at that Eagles offense. It's so nice. Like, look at me as the Patriots fan here. As the Patriots fan, I wish I had the Eagles offense. Okay, Kyle? I desperately wish that
I think there's a lot of teams in the NFL that wish they had what the Eagles have.
And that's the crazy thing, is that he's still getting all this hate, still getting all this heat for the cupcake schedule they had in the regular season, and even more so in the playoffs. But who cares? Like, they won. They got to that big game. And the 49ers are not a bad team either. Like, the 49ers, they came out with all these, comments last week about how they're going to get.
They're still talking.
They're still talking.
Not to cut you off, but
it's relevant.
The 49ers are the biggest loser franchise in the NFL. They are even more so losers than the Dallas Cowboys right
now. Whoa.
Because at least the Cowboys go quietly into the night, and then they go and root for the Lakers later on, and then they gear up for Yankee season.
Exactly. There's a trend.
They disappear. They're like the cicada. They're almost like the New York Mets. They're like the cicadas. But they come around every year. They disappear, and then they come out of the woodwork, when it's time to come out of the woodwork. The 49ers, and it's not even, like, their fans, like, I didn't even know they had fans anymore, so, like, I barely see them. But these players, dude, I can't tell you how much respect I've lost for so many of these guys that play for the 49ers. They are the biggest crybabies. I am ready to rebrand this team, okay? We're going to put shirts out. This is a guaranteed shirt. They are now, from here on out, the San Francisco 40-winers.
Yes. There it is. That's just well done. Well done.
Deebo Samuel, I am so happy the Eagles traded for A.J. Brown over him.
I'm with you there.
Christian McCaffrey, what a fucking loser.
Oh, my Lord, dude. Like, sore loser to a T.
Robbie Gould, you're a fucking...
Robbie Gould could say nada.
For me being a former member of the brand as a former high school kicker and respecting kickers and punters and everything the way I do, Robbie Gould, to talk the way he was talking as a fucking kicker, make Jalen Hurts play quarter. Did you see him play fucking quarterback, Robbie Gould? You fucking clown.
4 touchdowns.
Oh my God. They are the worst. They are like pests. I want to smush them like fucking bugs. Losers. Oh my God. I hate them. I hate them. I hope the Eagles play the 49ers week 1 of the season. It probably won't happen because we play the Chiefs this year, so they'll probably do that as a Thursday night game. But man, I would love to play the 49ers and fucking raise our NFC champions banner at the link in front of those fucking clowns.
Yeah, just absurd.
Deebo Samuel is the biggest baby on the planet.
He should wear the pacifier instead of DK.
Like, his Twitter handle's 19 problems. He's got more than 19.
Yeah, he should have put a K after the 9.
Good grief. What a fucking petulant baby.
And that's the thing that I'm seeing now with teams that, they're seeing the Eagles' success and I would say the likability that this team has that they haven't in years past. I mean, every guy you're like, oh, I love that guy. Great player, great guy, all that stuff. And you went up against the Chiefs, and they were, I would say, the best team. Like the two best teams in the NFL played against each other this week. And if you're a general football fan, that's all you can ask for. The result being what it was is a little sad, but I really gotta give props to the game itself. That was a hell of a Super Bowl.
It was the best Super Bowl since 52.
Since 52, I would say.
And granted, I think 52 was better just overall because of the back and forthness, and just like something about it felt like it was just like a heavyweight title fight. This was very close to that.
Yes.
Where 52, the refs didn't get as involved.
All right, I'm gonna give you a nice wrestling comparison here because
it
does. All right, so 52 felt like the WrestleMania main event. That is what you pay for. That's what it's got to be the best, and it was. This felt like the Royal Rumble, which I would say it's a big one. It's one of the core four, but it's not the WrestleMania. It's not that one where you think back in history, like that's the greatest of all time. You're gonna say that was an unbelievable greatest for that era, whatever. That's what I think it was, the difference there, where this one had a lot of back and forth. It was quick too. That's that my other complaint was, and it was probably due to the Eagles just running the ball and trying to keep Mahomes off the field. Smart. But it was quick. And 52 didn't feel quick. I felt like, I was sitting there watching Black Panther or The Irishman, 3-hour cinema, where this felt like, your TNT hour and a half, but goddamn, it was the best hour and a half you spent with your boys watching one of your favorite movies.
Yeah, it was definitely like just like pound for pound, like best game that we've had since 52. Like 53 was a snooze fest. 54 was Chiefs Niners, which was like
I don't remember
forgettable Super Bowls ever.
I'll sit here and say I don't remember it. I was in a trance.
The COVID Super Bowl was meh with Brady and Mahomes.
Yeah, I knew that was happening.
And then last year, Rams Bengals was like, eh.
It was good. You know what it was?
It was
fine. Good, and it ended on. It was the last play decided. So anytime.
Oh, look at that! 2 years in a row.
Exactly. So it's like But no, it's just I don't know. It was a very good game, and the thing that makes me sad
there's memorable plays scoring wise from this game too. Like the AJ Brown touchdown, I wanted to jump off a roof doing backflips, yelling "Go Birds!"
Now I wanted to ask you this because it was all they did yesterday, running the ball, and we did talk about it a lot at our Super Bowl party. Was the QB sneak formation that the Eagles do?
Love it.
And Jimmy Kronk actually brought up a good point, and he didn't bring it up because it was against the Eagles, but it was more of against the NFLPA, was that it's so successful. Okay, that is such a successful QB sneak formation, whatever, that when that happens in any sort of for any team, it feels like the NFLPA could start to think about banning that formation because it works so well. I could see them doing it because it's either one of those things where it's like, well, it's this formation and not because it's actually illegal. It's just because it's working so well and teams can't stop it. So in that case, they tend to find a way to ban it, even though there's no reason to at all.
I don't think it's going to get banned. I think Greg Olson or somebody else, I forget who it was, so I apologize, brought it up. I think last year, reinstated that was legal for the first time since 2006.
Oh, really? Okay.
It had been gone for that long.
Okay.
Other teams can do it. They just stink at it. It's not our fault. If you're a fan of another team, it's like the Eagles have the best offensive line in football. I think you can agree with that.
They do.
And Jalen Hurts squats 600 pounds, so he's strong as fuck from the waist down. He's going to push his way through, and he just gets a little extra oomph at the end. I think even if you take away the push, the Eagles are still well over 60% successful.
Yes.
At doing the QB sneak. It's in the rule book, so they're just using, what's legal, and I have no issue with it whatsoever. And even if I wasn't an Eagles fan, I'd have no issue with it.
I would say a supporter, not a fan, that I love it. I don't hate it.
It's
I don't
smart.
think it's cheating. It's such a, and it's not this bullshit like, well, you think they're gonna take a knee? It's like, no, this is more, it's like a trike. You're riding that two-wheeler, and you got the back right there.
It's using what's in your utility belt,
exactly.
and that is something that's in their utility belt.
Given to you. That is,
like if it's legal, you do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I have no issue with that. I do need. I don't buy the fact that they didn't inject Patrick Mahomes with anything. Not saying that was the cause at all whatsoever, but Jesus Christ, like, how the fuck does Buddy go from like screaming in agony on the sideline to looking like he just got brand new ankles?
Yeah, they injected him with, I would say, anything that you could find into that ankle, whether it was cortisone, a caffeine, adrenaline rush.
He totally got Toradol.
Toradol was the one that we were talking about last night. That was the one.
I can't stand Kadarius Toney. Never have, never will. He's a New York Giant. Like, he's got a fucking New York Giants tattoo on his back because he's a bonehead.
Giants tattoo on his back?
Yeah.
That's
if you go to his Twitter, I still think it's his pinned tweet. It's just a giant back piece, and it's all like New York related.
That's so awkward. It's like getting your ex's name tattooed to you.
Yeah. I mean, Jonathan Gannon shit his pants on the biggest stage, and I don't think as a collective NFL fandom, NFL community, that people are not talking enough like they were before the game. It was this big deal that Vic Fangio signed a 2-week contract with the Eagles, and then he's going to go be the Dolphins defensive coordinator after last night. We're not bringing that up enough because the Eagles, for some reason, and all credit to the Chiefs' offensive line, they had a hell of a game, like game of their life type thing.
Mm-hmm.
You bring in Vic Fangio for the last 2 weeks to game plan and prep for the Chiefs. And last night, it just seemed like the Eagles' pass rush faded into thin air. That was not the case for the entire regular season, for the entire postseason that they had. And then you're telling me Josh Sweat, Hassan Reddick, Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, Javon Hargrave, the list goes on, couldn't get home once? Like, I do not want to get conspiratorial here.
Yeah, it's tough. You want to kind of toe that line.
It is very strange that it was this big fanfare that Vic Fangio was brought in to help the Eagles game plan for the Chiefs on defense, and then the defense looked like hot trash.
I am a big proponent of you stick with what's working, and bringing Vic Fangio in was an overthought decision. It was not
good on paper.
And that's the thing. It looks good on paper. It's a little bit of extra help, backup there. But sometimes there can be too many cooks in the kitchen. And when there's too many cooks in the kitchen, shit gets messed up. Why fix what was already working well? The Eagles defense was, I would say, top 5 this year, top 3 to some people.
They were the number 2 pass defense in the NFL. Yeah. Or number 1 or 2, and then overall they were the number 2 defense as a whole across the board.
My question is, why bring him in when they're that are ranked that high? Where I could see it and be more behind it if the Eagles were like the 10th to 15th, and you're going up against the Chiefs, who are obviously better and whatnot, so you need that extra help. But you're like you're the number 2 team, on defense. It makes no sense to me. To me, it was a decision that was so overly thought out and actually hurt them at the end of the day, because it's one of those things where Pat Mahomes is such an anomaly as a quarterback. You freak out and have the anxiety of trying to game plan for him. And one thing that he does so well that it makes it so hard to game plan against him is that when you rush him, it's the worst thing you can do. When you pressure him constantly, it's the opposite of Brady. He can make plays happen on his feet with his mind. IQ is incredible. And that may have gone into the decision of bringing Vic Fangio in is how do you stop Mahomes by not sending the house because they have so many receivers. Like, look at Travis Kelce is just open in the middle of the field 9 out of 10 times. Not only because it's route running, but
and not even Travis Kelce. There were so many times.
Everybody. He was the
everybody.
first. MVS, Kadarius Toney, Juju Smith. Everyone was just open because you're so focused on not rushing him and trying to stop them that eventually, I mean, you obviously as a kid have done it with your friends that if you keep running around in circles, obviously the defender's going to get tired.
You
want the ball more than he does.
I thought you were about to start calling in the Black Eyed Peas. And running.
Party started. And you get the party started by running around your friend and having him fall on his face. That's so to me, you got to have that pressure on Mahomes. And that's why they just scored on. Was there even a punt? Yeah, there were a couple punts.
There was, I think, 3 total punts, 2 from the Chiefs, and then 1 from the Eagles that resulted in that Kadarius Toney run back.
And that's like it. And that's my thing is that's why they just went down the field so often is because when you give Mahomes any quarterback time, they're going to make a play happen, whether it's on their feet or with their arm. And you can't do that if you it's overthinking. It's overthinking the whole thing.
Yeah. So we're not talking about that enough. Shane Steichen is going to be leaving the Eagles. He's going to be the Colts head coach, which I'm totally fine with. I think
now, what coordinator is he?
He's our offensive coordinator.
Okay.
Totally okay with that. The Eagles brought in Brian Johnson as the QB coach, and I think he's going to take over the OC. He was Jalen Hurts' QB coach in college and, recruited him and everything. So, you saw the jump Jalen Hurts took with him in the building this year, and I think it would be a smart move to just elevate him there, and I think he's going to make the offense more dynamic and more intricate's not the word, but you guys get what I'm trying to get out there. I think Steichen did what he was brought here to do. He's going to go to Indy, do his thing. I'm fine with him moving on. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Shane Steichen. Gannon is allegedly one of the final 2 in the running for the Cardinals job. I hope they left him in Arizona.
Do you get any little feeling or connection with, little MP Matt Patricia, defensive coordinator who blows it up in the Super Bowl and has the worst game ever, then goes in, gets hired by a head coach?
Someone said on Twitter, I forget who it was, that they said it was laughable that Gannon is a finalist for the Cardinals head coaching position because it is literally like going and hiring Matt Patricia after Super Bowl 52.
And that's why the Cardinals, to me, will forever be a dumpster fire trash organization because you make decisions like this. Look what happened with Patricia. The Lions had to do a full reset, rebuild, not just a regular casual one that every team pretty much goes through. They had to hit the full reset button, and look where they are now. Do you really want to go that extra step?
I'm totally fine with Gannon being gone. Yeah, this defense was very successful this year and everything, but also I think a lot of that was predicated on the talent that was on the defense. Look across the board at every single player on this defense and tell me they wouldn't start on another NFL team. It's a phenomenal roster on this defense, and I think if you get anybody who has just 25% of the concept of in-game adjusting on defense, the Eagles' defense is even better next year.
They would be number 1, maybe.
Sure, they're going to lose players to free agency and everything, but that's what the draft is for, and that's why the Eagles have arguably the best GM in all of football.
Yeah, I can't believe we're giving Howie the credit now for being a draft wizard, but yeah, he is.
And look at all the signings and the cap manipulation that he does. Howie Roseman is arguably, and in my opinion, the best GM in football. Hands down, he knows how to fleece teams in trades. The fact that he got C.J. Gardner-Johnson and the number 10 pick in the draft this year, and the Eagles were in the Super Bowl,
and A.J. Brown.
A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts in the second round of the 2020 draft, Devontae Smith, look at this offensive line, Howie knows how to wheel and deal and make things happen, and people online, and I do have to, I gotta call somebody out, Pitts.
Oh, who are we calling out?
I got to call out a friend of the network, former guest on Eagles Enemies. I got to call him out. I got to pull it up here. Peter Bukowski.
Mm-hmm.
He is the host of the Locked On Packers podcast, co-founder of The Leap. Tweeted today, as we record this, here's why this is such a momentous loss for the Eagles. They're 2023 free agents. Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, who you're telling me how he's not going to re-sign, but we'll get to that in a moment. Javon Hargrave, Jason Kelsey, James Bradbury, Isaac Seumalo, T.J. Edwards, Robert Quinn, Ndamukong Suh, Linval Joseph, Miles Sanders, Kaiser White. All right, I'm going to go down this list.
I totally forgot you guys had, what's his name? You just said it, the defensive tackle.
Linval Joseph?
No, Robert Quinn. I forgot you guys
had
Robert Quinn.
Exactly. I'm going to go down this list and tell you my thoughts on all of these players and the status for 2023 free agents. Kaiser White, great player. Could totally see him back, in an Eagles uniform. He's from the area. He signed here on a 1-year deal. I think he was very productive, and it wouldn't shock me if he's back. Miles Sanders, that's going to be the toughest one because, we've talked about this ad nauseum. You and I and Matt and I have talked about it as well. It's tough to pay a running back money when you can go and get running backs. I mean, look at the Chiefs. They got Isaiah Pacheco in the 7th round. So we'll see what happens with Miles. Miles is a big question mark. To list Linval Joseph, Ndamukong Suh, and Robert Quinn here is just very funny to me. Linval and Suh were mid-season mercenaries who came in when the Eagles still had an undefeated season going. Is it going to suck to lose that type of depth? Yes. But they were not core pieces of this defense.
No.
Same thing with Robert Quinn. He was a trade deadline acquisition, and he's 38 years old. And he did next to nothing for this team. No offense to Robert Quinn. He got injured, was barely, part of this formula for this team.
Yeah, that's why I said I don't remember him.
T.J. Edwards, fine player. You can upgrade that in the draft. Plus, the Eagles drafted Nakobe Dean last year. Nakobe Dean's going to be playing next year.
People forget that Nakobe Dean went to the Eagles.
Isaac Seumalo is probably going to get a bag from somebody, and he's probably gone. So that's unfortunate. But the Eagles have offensive line depth. They drafted multiple offensive linemen. They'll probably do it again this year. It's going to suck. I would love to see Seumalo back, but he's probably going to get a bag. James Bradbury is probably going to go elsewhere because he was on a 1-year deal, had a phenomenal year. He's going to get a bag somewhere. Eagles will draft a corner. Okay. Jason Kelsey is not going to put on another uniform, and I don't even want to talk about the RETIRE word with him right now. But that's potential. But Jason Kelsey, I would bet my life would never put on another uniform other than an Eagles uniform, and I feel like you feel the same way.
I do, but after Brady left for the Bucs, I have no hope for any player.
But you seeing Kelsey.
Yeah, and no, but that's the thing. I have hope, and I have that.
And knowing Jason Kelsey is a fan, too, and how much this city means to him.
Yeah.
I don't see Jason Kelsey leaving. And I think it's different for a quarterback, too, with the whole Brady thing. So I don't see Kelsey putting on another uniform. Hargrave is probably leaving, but you drafted Jordan Davis, and he was phenomenal this year. Milton Williams is on this team. You'll probably go get another defensive tackle. Hargrave's probably going to get a bag from somebody. It's going to suck to see him go, but he's been phenomenal. C.J. Gardner-Johnson, how he's going to lock him up to be an Eagle for life. I would be stunned if he's not an Eagle for life.
I would be shocked. I would be shocked.
Brandon Graham is another instance like Kelsey where I don't see him putting on another uniform. I think as long as BG wants to play, he's going to sign 1-year deals to just be here. And same thing kind of for Fletcher Cox. I feel the same way. Obviously he's getting older and everything, but I could see Fletcher Cox after this year too coming back and having a resurgent season from 2021. Fletch, BG, and Jason Kelsey, just let them sign 1-year deals until they're ready to retire, and don't let them wear another uniform the rest of their career. Did you see any concerns from me from that list, really, though, Pitts? And then Peter Bukowski goes
No,
on to say,
I didn't have something to pull, but I wanted to do the magic.
Peter goes on to say, that's 10 Eagles starters who need new deals, plus their long snapper. Rick Lovato's going to be fine. Plus, Jalen Hurts is going into the last year of his contract this upcoming season. Can't let him play on a lame duck deal. They're not going to. He's going to get a bag. Give Jalen Hurts everything he wants. Give him everything he wants. They're already over the cap. Pause. The Eagles are not over the cap. Do a little research before you tweet, Peter. Love you, buddy, but come on.
The cap doesn't exist either, so.
And then he goes, and their whole coaching staff is about to leave. No, they're not. Sirianni's staying and Jeff Stoutland's staying. Those are the two most important coaches on this coaching staff, and they're here. Stoutland just signed a long-term extension. Sirianni's here. You can replace coordinators. I'm not concerned. And, like, look at the land. Like, everyone wants to talk about the landscape of the NFC and everything, too. Like, the Eagles are the best team in the NFC and are going to be the best team in the NFC for the next, like, half a decade, in my opinion. Like, what team, I think we talked about this last week, what team in the NFC over the next 5 years of Jalen Hurts' prime and the prime of this young defensive core that they have built now and the prime of this offense in general of Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, Dallas Goedert, Quez Watkins, Kenneth Gainwell, and the rest of these boys, what team in the NFC scares you? No team has a quarterback.
The Detroit Lions have Jared Goff.
Okay,
Kyle.
But being realistic.
Being okay, and on a serious note.
What team in the NFC do you think stacks up as well as the Eagles do to go out and be contending for the NFC Championship over the next 5 years, more than the Eagles? Not the Giants, not the Cowboys, not the Commanders.
No,
nobody in the NFC South.
The NFC South has their own issues, right?
Nobody in the NFC West.
Dude, yeah. What about those 40 whiners?
The 40 whiners, they don't have a quarterback right now. Who's their quarterback?
Technically,
you're telling me Trey Lance coming off a bummed ankle or Brock Purdy coming off a bummed elbow?
ESPN believes that Brock Purdy should have went number 1 this year. Yeah. Or the Jets should have taken him over Sauce Gardner.
Yeah,
so they're right all the time. So we should agree with them, Kyle.
I was also alive during World War I.
Yeah,
the 49ers don't have a quarterback, and they just lost their defensive coordinator, who I think is a much more valuable defensive coordinator than the Eagles' defensive coordinator.
Yes, and I think do you think he's more valuable than Salah was?
Yes.
There you go.
Because who did D'Amico learn coaching from, like, underneath to get to where he was, to be the type of coordinator and now head coach that he is, along with his playing experience for the Texans and the Eagles?
Mm-hmm.
So, the 49ers don't scare me because they're just going to... The 49ers remind me of the Saints, where they want to moan and complain about different things, this, that, and the third. And what have the Saints done since then? Not a fucking thing.
The Saints are one of the most over-talked about teams, I think. Like,
yeah.
There's just nothing. Like, they're
so
snooze fest.
Mid. And then the
yeah,
NFC North, like, Rodgers gone probably. He's probably going to Vegas.
Don't you dare sit here. No, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the peeps. Don't you dare sit here and try to tell me that the Packers run the NFC North. They don't.
Rodgers is gone.
He's running.
Minnesota's the biggest fraud team ever. They don't scare me whatsoever. Chicago is still rebuilding. And the Lions, there's a lot of question marks, I would still say, and I think you would still say, for, like, their roster construction, that, like, they're not at the Eagles level whatsoever.
No, they're not at the Eagles level because the Eagles are pretty complete across the board, where the Lions, I would say, are 8 out of 10 complete when it comes to filling out a position group. Their defense has got, immensely better, obviously, and I think you could agree with me on that point. Their biggest weakness, though, is still on defense, and it's in the secondary with their defensive backs. They don't have that star, that stud. I think Jeff Okudah is perfect in getting there, but the draft is going to be, where they are going to build that up. And that would be, I would say, Kyle, honestly, the team that should be on the, I don't want to say the Eagles should fear them because that's way hyperbolizing this. But when I talk about the contenders for the next few years in the NFC, I see the Eagles, I see the Lions, I see the Niners, and I see. I mean, I don't even know who the NFC South. I try to get across the board, but Eagles,
Bucks are
Lions,
bad, Panthers are bad,
Niners,
Saints are bad, Falcons are bad. Like
Falcons have no idea what they're
we
doing.
just laid it out for you. The Eagles are going to run the NFC for the next half decade plus. Now, granted, could one of these NFC teams go and get like Lamar Jackson or something? Sure, but it depends on what team. And it depends on like the makeup of that team when you sign Lamar Jackson to the contract that he wants. So that's a whole nother story. But like, as much as last night and like right now in this grieving stage that I'm in sucks, the Eagles are in a fucking amazing spot for where they are. This is not like what Jerry Jones tried to say, that the Eagles were like the Rams last year. The Rams sold their souls for that Super Bowl.
Oh, absolutely, they sold their souls.
The Eagles have a quarterback who is 24 years old. They have arguably the best young wide receiver tandem in the NFL together. You have one of the top 5 tight ends in the NFL. You have the best offensive line in the NFL. You have good pieces on this defense. And you have draft capital, unlike the Rams. The Eagles have a top 10 pick that they're going to add to this core, along with pick number 30 that they're going to add to this core.
Dude, that's insane. That's insane.
And you're telling me Howie Roseman's also not going to go out and wheel and deal in free agency and make moves happen to improve this roster?
Oh, he is.
Get out of town.
Howie hungry.
Like,
Howie hungry boy.
This is like the start for this Eagles team. Like, would it have been awesome for them to get this Super Bowl in, 2 and 5 years? Absolutely. But I'm going to read you this quote from Jalen Hurts last night on what he's going to take from this Super Bowl loss. He said, "We lost, we came here to win, and we came up short. It's something I know will motivate me. I've been here before. That's the beautiful thing about it. I'll figure it out." You're telling me that kid right there is not on a mission now to go out and make sure that this franchise brings home at least one championship while he's the quarterback here?
Yeah. After he lost Super Bowl, Cam Newton whined and pouted on the stand and then left and was, all that. Where Jalen Hurts took it like a man and said that he's going to improve. If I was an NFL franchise owner, I would be in the Jalen Hurts camp. I mean, that's exactly what you want to hear from your franchise quarterback after a devastating loss like that, where you look at him and you're like, oh, the Eagles there's no tension there. There's no bullshit in the locker room. They're on another mission. It's all right. Season 2023 or 2024, whatever, starts now. Prepping for that Super Bowl starts now. That's what you want to hear out of a franchise quarterback.
And before we keep going, we're going to talk about some more stuff from the game and everything. But it's brought to you by our friends over at Bino Board. Guys, it's the next big tabletop game for your man cave, your she shed, your tailgates. They're going to be part of our live tailgate series as well, all baseball season long. We have them here in the studio, and it's so much fun. We bring them out on the road when we're traveling for OTB in the summer, covering the PLL. Bino, think foosball meets paper football, and that's what you got. Best turf, better turf than what we had in the big game. You guys can go to binoboard.com, go get your boards, accessories, merch, and apparel that they have as well. They got some awesome stuff going on over there now with new product and everything almost every single day. And when you go to checkout, use code BINHOUSP. That's BINHOUSP, and you get 10% off your order. It's so worth it. It's a ton of fun. It's one of those things that, like, when you're hanging out with like a family party or you just have an event going on at your house or whatever, you bring out the Bino board and it's like instant conversations, instant fun. So go to binoboard.com and use code BINHOUSP for 10% off your order.
BINHO, 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 and Bino was your board. Oh, there it is, dude.
There it is.
All right. Championship.
Bino's got the best turf, unlike the Arizona Cardinals stadium that they spent 2 years and $800,000 preparing with somebody known as the Sod Father, who's like 94 years old. I don't think I have ever seen so many players slipping, sliding, and tripping because of sod that looked like they were running on a wet field in the middle of the desert. They're in Arizona. There's no precipitation out there.
There's not. There really isn't, Kyle. I don't get it.
Apparently, the PGA Tour had something to do with the grass that they used. Fuck that. Jay Monahan, fuck you. What are we doing? Go listen to Get in the Hole. I'm going to try to sabotage their podcast tonight to talk about that as well.
Yeah, let out your grievances. That'll make you happy. Just go full WWE and crash their
Hassan Reddick said it was the worst surface he's ever played on in his career, and he played in Arizona.
Oh, that's tough.
That was horrific. The Sod Father is banned from this podcast. He is on our shit list. He is in the Hall of Infamy. He and Carl Cheffers, I will see them in hell. Plain and simple.
Yeah, the thing, and I, as someone who covered college sports at Quinnipiac and on the turf field, turf was a massive issue. We had a lot, that was the thing, there was a lot of issues with getting the right turf and the temperature of it. And there were days where
this was grass. This was actual grass.
So then, but they made it into that's the thing that's confused me. From what it looked like,
apparently it was like people were saying it was too thin. It wasn't like thick. And my dad was saying he heard somebody on the broadcast say that they painted the entire field.
So it's wet paint.
Wet paint.
That's slippery as hell.
It's crazy.
What do they like? All right, so that's another question now I have.
Don't quote us on that, but I'm also allegedly. Like 80% sure. Allegedly,
we're gonna put that blanket.
The entire field was painted.
So what do they? So, but my question is, when was it painted? Was it painted every day? Like a coat was done every day? Was it game time? It's like, oh shit, we got to put an extra coat on. It's like, wouldn't that make it wet? But they don't think because they want the presentation. That's another instance of overthinking it. Just get a fucking turf field, put your logos on it,
or just get normal grass that
what are we doing?
Where's the Bermuda grass? Where's the Kentucky blue? Where's the good stuff? Why are we cheaping out for the fucking biggest stage? It's terrible. Another person who is currently banned is Roger Goodell. Did you see him feeling up Chris Jones after the game?
No, we shut off the celebrations because
I'm gonna find this video.
I had to go. Not that I had to go home, but a little personal story. While you find that clip, Ubers to get home from where I watched the game was $63. I spent, for reference, Kyle, I spent $13 to get over there. So I was like, no, I'm not doing this. So I had a friend come pick me up. And I brought her pizza. She brought me home. It was great. So no, I was trying to get my ass out of there and into that car. So I missed all of that. And honestly, I'm okay that I did. I'm not a big fan of it. I'm not going to go that far, but no, I'm glad I did.
So this video was on Twitter. I don't know if it was on the broadcast. It's from Fox Sports NFL that tweeted it. Dude, you would think Goodell, was playing for the Chiefs or played with Chris Jones, because this video is quite honestly disgusting. You're the commissioner of the league, and it looks like when you're first day of school, senior year of high school, and you meet up with the boys in the hallway for the first time, and you're clapping each other up, fist bumping everything, and saying what's up to the boys. That's what this video is. On steroids. Okay.
Okay. I'm ready. I'm
about to load it in here, but this was disgusting. I couldn't believe I could believe it because Goodell's done some slimy things as commissioner. But this was just like egregious and over the top. Like so many people were saying like, "What the fuck is this?" Like, it's crazy. So let me load this in, but yeah, I mean, here we go.
Well, Goodell is.
He's
It's
a
right.
slime ball. He's a slime ball.
Dude, Deflategate didn't tell you anything. There's so much touching.
Disgusting.
There's
Disgusting.
so much touching.
Take him out to dinner first.
Bro, I haven't touched someone like that in a while. I mean, are we fucking kidding me? Goodell's out here just groping people.
Jesus, man.
What
That was gross.
I hate Goodell. He's a smart businessman, and what he does for the NFL is great. But god damn it, he's such a villain. He's such a villain.
He sucks.
He's a scroll.
I do have to give credit. Like, the only good takeaway from this Super Bowl, outside of like the positives moving forward for the Birds, do have to tip my cap and shout out to the boy Isaiah Pacheco bringing home a trophy for the city of Vineland.
Again, that's 2 straight years. That's 2 straight years.
The city of Vineland now has a Super Bowl champion. I've known Isaiah for a long time. I covered him when I was working for NJ.com. When he was the quarterback at Vineland. I've known him since, I'd probably say I'd known Isaiah since he was in like 8th grade. And he is just one of the hardest working humans at his craft and always trying to get 1% better each and every day. And to see him, go from Vineland High School to Rutgers, stayed home to be local and everything in New Jersey, and then, see him get drafted in the 7th round, was at his draft party, and just to watch him take the opportunity and never relinquish it. Clyde Edwards-Helaire gets hurt, and Isaiah's like, I'm going to make this my own. And then you see, like, the entire season, like, people start talking about Isaiah Pacheco, and then going into the game last night, like, they had the DJ Khaled intros and everything, and you hear DJ Khaled say Isaiah Pacheco, like, is crazy, to know the person that Isaiah is and to see him perform on the big stage, scores that touchdown, was really, really cool. I couldn't be prouder of him. And, congrats to Pop, because he puts in the work and he earned every ounce of what he did this season. And, the sky's the limit for him. Happy for his parents, who are 2 awesome humans. Yeah, and City of Vineland now 2 Super Bowl champs in back-to-back years, 3 overall, I want to say. So yeah, pretty crazy stuff.
Insane. I know when someone's good, when it's someone's that good and not just our bias kicking in. When the clock tower with all the power, Big Ben, is even saying to me, like, dude, this Isaiah Pacheco kid, he can fucking run. He craves contact and all that. And I'm not talking him up to him, I mean, like, that's hitting his own. And to see that, be like, oh, all right, that's like, he's getting that recognition there too. And dude, he runs hard. He's a running back that is so, I would say, vital to an offense because of how much he can do. You can put him in the pass game a little bit. You can have him run inside. And that's what they need, that Chiefs team needs, to have it be the 7th round draft pick, Isaiah Pacheco, and, the value you got from it. It's incredible. And also shout out to Vineland. I mean, that's incredible, you guys.
Yeah, Dan Russo was at the game yesterday, which is pretty wild too.
That is wild. He's a former player.
One of our own podcast hosts out there, holding it down, rooting for Isaiah though, obviously. But I do have another topic that I want to bring up, Pitts, and it's brought to you by our amazing homies over at Kenwood Beer, the official beer of Underground Sports Philadelphia. They brought 30 kegs, I think, of green Kenwood to the Wells Fargo Center. So that was pretty neat. But they're also going to be part of our live tailgate podcast series this summer for baseball season. Go to kenwoodbeer.com. Use that all new and improved Kenny tracker to see who's got Kenwood beer on tap in the Philadelphia area. You can now get it at your Eastern Pennsylvania home goods now available, which is pretty awesome. Get it at your local liquor store in the Philadelphia area. You got to be 21 or older to do so. Of course, please drink responsibly. It's a better light beer, Kenwood beer. I saw a tweet about this from Stephen McAvoy's Lord and Savior Nick Costos, and I fully agree with it, and it's crazy that it hasn't been the case since the debacle with the replacement ones. I think this Super Bowl should be the catalyst for no longer having part-time refs.
Agreed. I agree with that.
We've seen too many instances now in the regular season, and this is, 3 days removed from that snake, Roger Goodell, saying that refereeing's the best it's ever been. And then you have what happened last night in multiple factions. We've seen too many instances where these referees are making the game about them.
Yes.
They are not full-time. They're not compensated to be full-time. But I think it's time that we need full-time referees in the NFL. It is just as much of a job that is vital to the game, and the attention to detail and, not being lackadaisical like we've seen in many instances in so many games get determined by referee decisions because they're not full-time. It's just as vital as, the guys that are out there on the field. Like, these refs are out there on the field with them, determining things. I was part of a viral referee video this past year where a referee almost decided a game. So, I think it's time that the NFL needs to employ full-time referees.
They need to do that, like, ASAP, Rocky. Not even trying to be funny with that. Like, the fact that football's got so, and not even football, just sports in general, have got so massive. There's so much money involved, and the fandom, all that there needs to be a more decisive way to do things. And the way that referees are doing it, they make it really about themselves, and that's the third team on the field. And it felt like last night the game was going so well that there was no moment that people were gonna be like, or they were gonna say like, wow, no one's talking about the refs. There's no reason to. The flags they had, or maybe one call with Devonta Smith, but they got it right back with Dallas Goedert. That was such a ticky-tacky call, and it could have been on the Chiefs, it could have been on the or it was on the Eagles, but it doesn't matter what team. To me, as the sports fan, when I watch that, calls like that should not determine the outcome of a game. That should have been called in the second or third quarter, not in the fourth with however much time's left. And I'm like, was it that much of a catchable pass? Like, that's the other thing.
No, I think the ball was out of range to begin. It was an overthrown pass.
It was, yes.
And to claim that, him tugging on the jersey at the beginning was what prevented him from getting a clean breakaway, he was never going to get to that ball.
He wasn't, and that's what pisses me off about this, that, the Eagles could have went down, and they would have kicked a field goal, and the Eagles go down, and they would have scored, and you may have overtime, may not. Like,
it prevented what could have been an all-time finish,
all-time Super Bowl, all-time finish of the Super Bowl, and that's what pisses me off. I have no stake other than if I was not part of this organization, I would not care about the Super Bowl. I really wouldn't. But so when that the case, give us the best game possible, and the best game possible is the final seconds of the game to end on a scoring play. They may or may not score, and that's the game. That is exactly what every kid in their backyard dreams about and tries to mimic. And then that's what every player on that field envisions when they're asleep at night getting ready for that game. It made no sense to me why the referees decided to take the game into their own hands and then just pretty much give the Chiefs the Super Bowl on a platter, And if they scored and the Chiefs were the better team, guess what? They're the better team, okay? That's not what we're arguing. We're arguing that you cannot put the game in the referee's hands in those moments. It just pisses. It's not good for business. It's not good for anyone.
And there just needs to be extensive year-round training and year-round discipline for these refs. Like, the fact that players and everything can go out and something happens with them, they get suspended for a game, or they do an illegal hit, they're suspended, stuff like that. When a ref makes a bad call, they just get to walk away scot-free, and then they get to call another game.
Accountability. No accountability.
Like, that, employing full-time refs would allow for refs to get relegated, get them off of teams, and bring up refs that are ready to roll as a full-time ref. Like, there needs to be some sort of system in place where you have X amount of strikes against you, you're suspended as a ref. Like, and that's in all sports. No, we're not talking about that, but like this is not just generalized to the NFL, but it's the spotlight here because NFL refereeing is so bad.
Yeah, it's bad. That's good.
But I think that's in all sports. Like, if you have X amount of strikes again, like 3 strikes, you're done. Like, you're suspended for X amount of games, or the rest of the season, stuff like that. Like, there needs to be something put in place because these refs just time and time again think the spotlight in the game is about them when it's not, and you're just there to referee the game. You're not there to be the product that's out on the field. So I do think we need to start diving into full-time referees.
I agree.
Let's talk about the halftime show. We have differing opinions, I think.
It was, in the way I described it, it was very vanilla. It was just, it did the job. It wasn't bad. It wasn't fantastic. It was just very good. Rihanna played the hits. I was nowhere close with my predictions at all, but I was hyped dancing the entire time. It felt very just solid, like a good vanilla ice cream cone. There was no sprinkles, there was no hot fudge to make it a sundae. It was just good. And then you have my old folks that live above me, the roommates above me, that are like, "What are we doing? That was terrible. It was awful." And that, I say, that's not right. You're not right by saying it's awful.
Rihanna confirmed pregnant with her second baby. So for her to go out there and do that pregnant is,
and that's crazy. That's
unreal.
Why I'm saying it was really good, is that she just did what she could and played the hits and did the job.
I thought the stage was awesome. I love the platforms and everything. I love the subtle touch of the Fenty Beauty, no free ads in there. I don't know if you caught that. She grabbed a makeup palette, reapplied lipstick and everything mid-show.
Oh,
very awesome product placement by Bad Girl Riri. She played the hits, opening up with "Bitch Better Have My Money," power move. Like, you were texting me, that you said, I forgot Rihanna had this many bangers.
Every
many
song came out, and I was predicting these. We were predicting these songs. I mean, that she would play, and she didn't play, I would say, half of them. But it didn't matter because you're like, "Oh yeah, this one. Oh, banger, let's go. Oh, I forgot about this one."
And Rihanna puts on a show. I've seen Rihanna live, so I've experienced it, and it's unbelievable. You witnessed that last night. She puts on a show and performs. That voice of hers is godly. And she goes out every single time that she performs to prove that there's no stage bigger than her. No. And I love that about her. I love her confidence that she exudes no matter what. I was really just thrilled with the halftime show. The bangers were hit after hit after hit after hit. All of the lights was magnificent. Shine Bright Like a Diamond was magnificent. Run This Town was great. It was a true awesome halftime show because it was the hits, and I loved it. Rihanna's amazing. I really hope that moving forward, if she wants to make more music, I hope we get it because I'm a huge Rihanna stan. She is unbelievable. She's one of the best live artists I've ever seen in my entire life. And for people out there who don't know, I've been to close to 100 concerts with over 50 people that I've seen, if not more. Rihanna's easily top 3. Wow. She's unreal. And I thought it was an awesome halftime show. I thought it was great. I also love, the memes from it. When
the Super
when the
Mario
dancers, the Super Mario thing was great because somebody quote tweeted her tweet about Mario Brothers and everything.
Mhm.
The Super Smash Brothers stage thing was funny. When her backup dancers were running out in unison, it was like what white blood cells coming to defend with the red blood cells. That was great. It was just an awesome halftime show. I thought it was really well done, and I think we've had the past couple of years have just been awesome performances for the halftime shows and everything. And people got to remember, Rihanna doesn't get paid for the halftime show. Like, the backup dancers get paid, security gets paid, set designers and costumers get paid and everything from the NFL. Rihanna doesn't get paid. So whatever she wanted to put into it, she had to do out of pocket. But Apple Music, being the presenting sponsor of the halftime show now, they're paying Rihanna to do a documentary about the build up to her performing at the halftime show. So that's really cool. But yeah, I thought Rihanna was awesome, and it was cool to see her just back out on the big stage.
It was really nice. It was really good to see it. And we may see some new music soon that she backed. Well, no, she's going to be a mom again, so actually,
yeah, we'll see.
But
yeah, shout out to Rihanna. Congrats to the Chiefs. It sucks.
Do we have time for Pitts' power rankings, or?
I also just love Jason Kelsey's congratulations to Travis Kelce. I don't know if you saw
that was good. That's on my power rankings.
Said fuck you, congratulations.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've got Pitts' power rankings to close us out here. It's brought to you by our friends over at Trophy Smack. There's no better way to upgrade your fantasy smack talk than with our friends at Trophy Smack, guys. Fantasy baseball is right around the corner. Fantasy football, just get ready. Fantasy sports, fantasy everything is the thing now. And you got to have something to play for. So go to trophysmack.com/underground. Check out their belts, their rings, metal wall art, and of course trophies. But make sure you use trophysmack.com/underground. Link is in the description, and upgrade your fantasy smack talk today. That's trophysmack.com/underground. Pitts, I'm going to give you the stage here in just a moment. And this is your post big game power rankings, brought to you by the friends and homies over at Trophy Smack.
All right, here we go. Pitts' power rankings, Super Bowl edition. We're gonna start with number 10, Dog Lovers. Okay, we put out Pitts on Parade episode 0 yesterday on the Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. Go check that out. I asked the people of Boston what they were excited about the Super Bowl. There was a dog video, okay? Dog came, I played with the dog a little bit. We got 6 subscribers from that clip alone. And if you like dogs, go check it out yourself on our YouTube channel. Number 9, Kenneth Gainwell. I put Kenneth Gainwell because, of course, he was going to go off in the Super Bowl, but no one thought otherwise. And I like how KB and I have that little connection going, that we know what's up in Gainwell.
Get wrecked, Stephen McAvoy.
Yeah, screw you, Steve. How about you get in your own hole? All right. Number 8, Tubi. Tubi sent every family into a fight of the year because of their commercial. Everyone thought that someone switched the channel. There were fights happening, but goddamn, we know who Tubi is now because of it. Number 7 is Jason Kelsey. As KB alluded to, his congratulations to his brother Travis was probably the most brotherly way to congratulate your brother on a Super Bowl after he beat you. And after that moment and after this weekend, I'm all in on the Kelsey brothers. Number 6, Buffalo Chicken Dip, because how many goddamn Instagram stories did I see and even put out myself with Buffalo Chicken Dip? I had 2 different types yesterday. And then I saw a little friend of mine in Florida. She had one, and I had a comment on it. So Buffalo Chicken Dip was everywhere. Number 5, Dunkin' Donuts. The fact that Dunkin' Donuts was the first commercial to open up the Super Bowl, and it was with Ben Affleck, pretty much Mr. Boston next to Matt Damon, and then J-Lo too. I really felt that. That was incredible. I wish I was at that Dunkin'. Number 4 is Rihanna, because yes, I said that she had a vanilla halftime show, but she still crushed it. The songs were awesome. I was dancing the entire time. Yeah, I was a little disappointed there was no guest, but that bitch don't need no guests. It's her stage, her show, and she made it happen last night. Number 3 is Violent Zone, Isaiah Pacheco. The man had 15 carries for 76 yards and a touchdown in the goddamn Super Bowl. And we have to give him love on this show. Yeah, the Eagles lost, but at least someone from the area won. Shout out Isaiah Pacheco and good shit. Pat Mahomes comes in at number 2 because whatever Stark technology they implemented him with to come out to the second half, he did it. And I do love Pat Mahomes. Who doesn't at this point? And it's good to see him. But guess what? You know what? Pat is number one. Patty effing Pitts. All right. You know why I'm number one? Because yes, I had the Eagles for a future, but a group of mine came to me and said, you know what? I have a cheap little bet here I want to throw to you. Here's $100. Place that bet for me. And as a champion of peeps, I listen to my peeps. So I put that in for him and he won. I didn't, but guess what? Just because I lost, I helped someone win. That's what a real champion does. So I'm at number one. I'm the champion. And that's why I'm number one after this weekend. I got this belt, the Universal Champ of the Peeps title going forward. It even says my name on it. Shout out to 5-year-old Pitts for doing that. So I'm the champ after this week, and that's how it's going to be. And those are my power rankings.
So to run it back for the people, number one, Patty Pitts himself. Number two, Patrick Mahomes. Number three, Isaiah Pacheco. Number four, no free ads, Duncan. Number 5, Buffalo Chicken Dip. Number 6, Jason Kelsey. Did I miss one?
No, 8 is Tubi. Rihanna's 4.
That's what I missed.
Rihanna 4, Duncan 5.
That's what I missed. I'm going to run that back turbo. Number 1, Pat Pitts. Number 2, Patrick Mahomes. Number 3, Isaiah Pacheco. Number 4, Rihanna. Number 5, Duncan. No free ads. Number 6, Buffalo Chicken Dip. Number 7, Jason Kelsey. Number 8, no free ads, Tubi. Number 9, Kenneth Gainwell. And number 10, Dog Lovers. And those are your Pat Pitts post-Super Bowl power rankings brought to you by Trophy Smack.
Here we go.
There it is. That is all we wrote. I think that's all we got. The Super Bowl commercials were not really that memorable, so not much to talk about there. We'll be... final thing here. We did announce 2 pieces of new content coming to the network in 2023. Pitts, you obviously alluded to it. Pitts on Parade. We announced it on Wednesday night show. Officially coming. We put out a little teaser, episode 0, kind of pilot, if you will. Doing very, very well. So I'm very excited for the way that's going to turn out. We're going to figure out a locked-in day for that to be uploaded, but almost 1,000 views for something that's like brand new on Instagram is really awesome. Then obviously the clip on YouTube is doing numbies. So Pitts on Parade.
Let's get it more.
Just give a little rundown of your excitement for this, and I think we finally unlocked what I have been calling the Pitts Dora's box.
Yeah, the Pit Stores box is so interesting because for a while it's like, yeah, I'm the sports guy, the football guy, and you see me on these shows, and you do know your shit, yeah. But like an onion, I would say, Kyle, there's a lot of layers to me, and it took a little bit to unlock. Obviously, the wrestling, I would say, was the biggest one to unlock. That just going all in with that on my own with that pod and whatever I'm doing there. But the Pits on Parade, I didn't. It wasn't something. Like, the thing with that is
I down the family.
It's full of shells. And the thing with Pits on Parade is that it's something that I just could do. I talk to people every day. People just come up to me and talk at convenience stores or whatever. And I should just, as you said before, I should probably have a camera on me at all times. And for having that type of content be a thing, I had so much fucking fun. I had so much fucking fun doing it and talking to people, and they're a lot more receptive than I thought. The ones that say no, you just, peace out. Don't worry about it. There's many people in the world. But the ones that do, like, yeah, all right, yeah, I'll do it. And then once they start talking, they like to. And I like that. And it's the back and forth. So I'm excited for that. Very excited to be doing that.
Yeah, Pits on Parade will be a video series. So very excited for that. And we were talking about, we had like a little mini content meeting with McAvoy, you and I, and once you had to go and record your wrestling pod, we were like, Pitts is not meant to be fully sitting in front of a microphone at all times doing a podcast. He needs to be out in the wild amongst the people. And then that's where Pitts on Parade came from. So Pitts on Parade, we'll let you guys know on the socials the definitive day that'll be coming out, because it's going to be like every X day. we're trying to aim for Mondays because I feel like Mondays would be fun. But we'll let you guys know full blown in the future. But go check out the pilot on Instagram at UndergroundPHI and at Pitsy35. And then we announced our F1 content with Casey Liberator. Nice little commercial teaser. Second time we've done a big game commercial on social media. Did one 3 years ago for streamer season, and the reception so far for this from so many people that I wouldn't expect is crazy. So I'm glad we're diving into this. I think Casey's going to absolutely crush it with this. There will be a podcast as well that we're going to start with Casey, and I believe it's going to be her brother. Plus, DJ and Christian are big F1 guys, so they're going to also be, contributing and being around the F1 space for us. So very excited for this. And then we have another commercial, if you will, coming out soon for a podcast we announced before, the Glue Guys, college basketball with Tommy Boy and Owen Mitchell. They're going to be starting full-blown video content and video versions of their podcast as well within the next week or two. So very excited for so much content that we have. That's the benefit of building a rapport with the internet for 5 years, is people want to come and do content with you and be under your umbrella, and you kind of just let them go do their own thing. Like those 3 shows I don't really have a big part in at all, which is nice for me. And it's kind of just, they get the boost from what we have, and, we just get to put our tentacles in whatever decides to work. Also, yeah, Octopus last night in the game.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible.
First ever. Shout out Jalen Hurts. But yeah, very excited. So go follow at Underground F1, I believe is the Instagram handle. I want to get this correct, so don't quote me here. I am looking. Yeah, Underground F1 on Instagram, and then at Underground _F1 on Twitter, because somebody already had the fucking handle. Go follow there. Follow Casey on Twitter and Instagram. She's awesome, so she's gonna fit right in with everything we do. I've known Casey for a long time because of Twitter, so very excited for that and where things are gonna be heading moving forward. Also want to give a big shout out to a good Twitter social media homie, Brooklyn Vaughn. She was working the big game for the worldwide leader last night, her first ever. So really cool to see, people out there working the big game, and she crushed it all football season long. So shout out to Philly Vaughn. Her name's Brooklyn, but she's from Philly, so she's Philly Vaughn. She's my one friend who doesn't believe that Delco Danny is a real person.
No, jeez,
she's like, she said, "There's no way."
There's like, no way. Delco Danny.
There's a way.
There he is, very much real.
I heard Delco Danny is
no, he's grieving. We're not
responsibly drowning in Kenwood beers right now.
Yeah, and we'll send a prayer out to him. We'll send out a prayer to him.
Big thank you to everybody too who rocked with us all football season long. Football season is a grind for this company. It starts in July and ran until February. And we do draft stuff and free agency stuff, so it gets sprinkled in. But then from July to February, it is a marathon for us across the board. Myself with high school football and the Dan Russo show, to Eagles Enemies, to the main show, a whole bunch of stuff across the board. Football is a massive time of year for us. We're working on already stuff that we're going to make football season bigger and better than ever next year. This fall. But man, football season is a grind. It's an emotional grind for a lot of us. So I just can't thank everybody enough. If you got on board with the show during football season, found out who we were during football season, or you've been riding with us since the beginning, it means a lot for all the support during the grind and the dog days of football season. It's gonna be nice, once February's over for me. I'll be able to finally like exhale for the first time since July. So I mean, I just can't thank everybody enough because, like I said, it's a marathon, and to get to February and the way that it fucking ended sucks. It's a big punch to the gut. But man, like it was a wild ride, and it was probably one of the most fun football seasons I've had, if not the most fun since we started this podcast, which was built on a Super Bowl victory. So we didn't even get to like cover that season outside of, the one episode 0 being the recap of the year. So this was like to lose 3 fucking championships in 4 months.
It's sucks. Dude, that's gonna be some scars that are gonna be there. You're gonna look at those.
There's a lot of emotion and just a lot of down badness.
Emotional damage.
Literally me. That is like instead of the monkey with the symbols in your brain, it's that guy just on repeat. Emotional damage. Just hitting the button.
That's every time.
We have some big things planned though for the spring and heading into baseball season, March Madness, a whole bunch of, PLL season is right around the corner.
Yeah.
And from our live tailgate series that we have, getting ready to get that off the ground floor. We're rebranding our Home Run Derby live stream that we've made an annual thing, and obviously March Madness. We have Underground Madness coming up, and a whole lot of stuff planned, which is very exciting. And again, anniversary week was a wild success. Thank you to everybody for just rocking with us and supporting us, and we hope you continue to do so moving forward. And big shout out to the homie Giovanni for putting on and being in the press conference and doing his thing. Couldn't be more proud of the little bro. But yeah, what a wild ride it's been. Shout out to the Philadelphia Eagles, man. What a team, what a journey, what a ride. Wouldn't trade it for anything. Even though it sucked at the end, the result, wouldn't trade this season for anything. So shout out to the Birds. It's Go Birds for life. And make sure you guys are following us at Underground PHI, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.com/Underground Sports PHI. Follow Pitts on Twitter at Pat_Pitts and at Pitsy35 on Instagram. Follow me at KBIZZL311 on Twitter and KBIZZLE11 on the gram. Subscribe to the podcast feed if you want to cheer me up. Underground Sports Philadelphia. Just search it on your podcast app of choice. Leave a 5-star rating and review on Spotify and Apple. It really does help the show. Helps us keep growing. And you can listen to me grieve and all that good stuff for the next month or so. And if you really want to help me get over my grieving, subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. It's where you get full video episodes. You get Pits on Parade. You get clips, shorts, live streams, original content. Oh, yeah, there's work. There's work to be done, but we're working out the semantics that I'm probably going to Vegas within the next month or two. Yes. Because Jamil Demby made the 51-man roster for the Vegas Vipers. So Vegas trip incoming. Very pumped about that. This football season really never ends now. It's a 12-month thing.
Year round, baby.
So shout out to the boy, Jamil. But yeah, Vegas trip. Underground to Vegas coming soon. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, though. YouTube.com/@Underground Sports Philadelphia. And make sure you get your merch from our awesome merch partners at PHI Apparel Company. Use code Underground for 10% off any and all orders at phiapparel.co. This has been Underground Sports Philadelphia, episode number 507. For Pitts, I'm KB. Forever and always, it's Go Birds. We love you guys. And until next time, we are signing off. Peace.